Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Rooftop Club podcast, and welcome back after a very long time. I know. I will tell you about it, but in a little bit because I don't want to start the episode with just ranting about how everything is. Anyways, you have seen the title of today's episode, and today, after 10 episodes, we are finally addressing it. The weather. As if we have spent a single episode not talking about weather, but I was like, well, it's 10 episodes, and right now, the weather is in the screaming mode. I really think monsoon is the season where you feel the presence of weather the most, other than when the weathers are changing from one season to another. Monsoon is the season of weathers, I guess. And what better time to talk about weather, I guess? Well, I guess every episode is a good time to talk about weather because I have talked about weather in every single episode, I guess. But now we're just gonna talk about that. Maybe it's just an excuse for me to just keep talking about weather. I didn't think I am into weather that much before I started making the podcast. I mean, I always know like the first questions you ask somebody who you're catching up with are like, how's the work? How's the weather? If they're in a different place than you, then these are the first questions, like, how's the weather in your place? Oh my god, it's so cold these days. Oh my god, it's so hot these days. It's like the first thing you discuss. And also everybody acknowledges that weather defines our mood. If it's a good weather, we would be feeling happy, we would be feeling good, and if it's a bad weather, we would be eventually consequently feeling bad. No matter how good the circumstances are, like, we would be like, oh my god, the weather's such a bummer today. And even if we're feeling tired and very bad, if the weather is nice, we can smile, we can feel a little happy, slightly nicer that the weather is nice. So welcome to this episode. Let's talk about weather. And first of all, as I've said, really loud bikes. Anyways, so I really want to address the fact that we are 10 episodes in to Rooftop Club podcast. Congratulations, everybody. Congratulations to me. I'm really proud of myself. I really didn't think it to the point of episode 10. Like, the fact that there's an episode called episode 10 out is unbelievable for me. I did not believe in myself to come this far. I mean, I sometimes daydream to higher levels, but those are just like fantasy. Those are peak fantasy worlds, and I didn't actually think that I would come this far. I would keep making episodes and I would eventually have 10. Like, if I had $1 for each episode that I make, which I don't have a single penny even for any episode. Anyways, so I would have $10, and it's wow. I should have picked something better to relate it to. Anyways, 10's a lot. Like, 10 things is a good amount of things, considering what kind of things those are. Anyways, I'm ruining this. I'm happy 10 episodes. What do we call it? I don't know. I can't call it a decade worth of episodes. Damn. Okay, now I'm just having fun. Well, I'm really proud of myself, and thank you, all of you guys, for continuing to listen to the episodes and liking them and just supporting me. I really feel happy, and even though this 11th episode is coming out so late, I didn't think about not making it because I kind of feel like I can do it. I've made 10 episodes. I can make 11th as well, no matter how hard the circumstances are. And that's only because you guys continue to like the episodes. Might as well continue. Maybe someone is getting something good out of my silly little podcast. And if you are getting something good, I'm really, really happy. It makes me so happy if any one of you, for like the slightest moment during the podcast, feel good or find something relatable or just like something resonates with you and you feel good about it, you feel validated, or something you learned, or something you were able to address because of what I said. Any positive change, any positive thing that happened because of the podcast, even the slightest bit of it, I'm really, really happy about it. I'm really glad that it did happen. And I would also love to hear your comments if it is like that. But anyways, so happy 10 episodes and welcome to the 11th episode. Okay, maybe I should now update you guys on why I like this episode is so late because well, no other excuse than back whenever I made the overwhelm episode, I thought that my life could not be busier than this. Like I mean, I didn't think that it can't be busier than that, but I was like, this is peak busyness, you know? And well, surprise, surprise, I think it could really soon become more busy or like busier. Life got so busy. I'm so busy these days. I don't like it at all. And the thing about being so busy is that even if you find some kind of free time during your day or your shenanigans, your work, you don't want to do anything else. Like recording a podcast at this point is, I enjoy it, but it's also sort of a responsibility. So my mind is like, nope, no, 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 no. That's how it is. Even if I come up on the rooftop, I'm like, no, not speaking. And me being an introvert doesn't help. Or me being not a big talker generally doesn't help. I just really keep my lips sealed a lot, and especially ever since I've started working, I've been talking less because, well, before I used to live in a dorm and I at least used to talk to my friend, like my closest friends, and I was speaking, you know. Now everything I speak is just so proper and has to be either like some kind of meeting points I'm sharing or some instructions I'm reading off or discussing some kind of strategy or whatever, or talking to colleagues, which I try to use the least amount of vocabulary to talk to people, which probably makes me look like a snob. And I'm also really worried about that because I don't want to look like a snob at my workplace. I want to be able to interact with people, but I also want to keep a good boundary between me and my colleagues. And you know, I don't want to turn my workplace environment around me into a chatty one where we are like sharing our feelings and sharing our lives. I want to focus on work. Oh my god, such a good employee I am. Anyway, so I have been not talking a lot. And when I don't do something that I generally don't also like doing that much, and I don't do that for a long time, I tend to set in that mode, and I find my comfort in that mode, which in this case is talking. So I just find my comfort now in not talking. Now talking feels like like work, you know. So whenever I had free time, I was not in the mood of talking at all, even for the podcast. I'm really sorry, excuse me. And the weather did not help at all. Weather has been so bad, worst weather of my life. You can literally say that. It has been so humid the last whole month. It was so humid. The month of June was hot. It was very hot. I was surprised at how hot it can get, you know. I think broke some records or something. It was still somehow bearable because I don't know, air was enough, fan was, if you were sitting in the fan, yeah, you would be sweating, but you wouldn't be out of breath. You wouldn't be dying, you know. But July, even though the temperature has been down because of rainfalls, but it has been humid as man, I mean, I don't even have anything to compare it to. Humid as a sauna, I guess. But in the sauna, you're in the mood of that humidity. You're not wearing any clothes or whatever. I have never been to a sauna, so I don't know what it is. But you go to a sauna thinking that it would be that way, and you're like prepared in that way. But who wants to be in a sauna 24/7? July has been so humid, and I hate it. I hate the humid weather. I love rainfall. I love storms and rainy weather, but I hate humidity. Nobody likes humidity. I think we can all agree on that. I know a lot of people don't like rainfall as well, but I think the whole nation, the whole universe, even the aliens would agree that humidity is the worst kind of weather. It's the worst kind of weather situation. Okay, so it has been so humid. Every time I came up on the rooftop, I wasn't able to survive more than 5 minutes, and even 5 minutes is an exaggeration. I wasn't even surviving 1 minute. It was so hard to breathe. It was so hard to stand. It was so hard to sit. Everything was so hard. And whenever I went down from my 1 minute rooftop trip, I'd be like straight going into the shower, and so the weather was really not helping. I was already really tired, so yeah, all of those factors contributing is equal to this episode being so late. Yeah, right now I'm up on the rooftop. Yes, it's night and it just rained, and thankfully a slightly cooler wind is blowing, so I'm able to sit out on the rooftop, and the humidity is slightly settled. Slightly, it's still humid, but not that bad. It's not that bad, alhamdulillah. And I'm liking the weather. I was tired, but I was also trying to record the episodes, and I have already tried 3 times to record. I've recorded 3 full episodes. Not 3 full, 2 full episodes and 1/2 episode, and I've scraped those off because I just didn't like them. I have those recordings still, but I don't think they were good enough, and they were bad. They were really bad. I was really not in the mood of talking, and I was really not prepared, and one of them is incomplete. And I first thought today to maybe start from where I left off in that episode. And I was like, oh my god, everything has changed. I was talking about the weather, but in a very different way, because that day obviously the weather was different. So yeah. Anyways, I was watching a YouTube video, a booktuber, and they were talking about short stories, and I was really taking notes because I wanted to read a good short story. And she started talking about this one short story that she read, and she started saying, oh, it's about a town where it rains all the time, and it's like the sun never comes out and it's always raining. And I was like, oh my god, I want to read that because I love the rain and I love the rainy weather. But then I realized that, as she kept on talking, that she says that one day the sun comes out in this town, and it's like only this one day that the sun has come out, and people are out and they're happy and they're everywhere, and the whole book is about that sunny day actually. Whoa. And she was like, and I loved reading that book because sun is my happiness as well. Whenever the sun is out, I feel happy and I feel like I can do things. And when the weather is dark, when it's rainy weather, I feel pretty gloomy. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to get out of the bed. But as soon as the sun is out, I just want to get out of the bed and I feel awesome, and sun equals my happiness. And I was just like, no, I cannot relate to you because I love the rain, and I was interested in reading that story because I thought it was about a town where it's always raining. I mean, how cool would that have been? A town where it's always raining. I want to see a movie like that. Actually, there is a movie like that. Weathering with You, I guess you could say. And even The Garden of Words is full of rain. Makoto Shinkai's movies are full of rain, I guess. Always. I think how we perceive weather is highly based on the geographical situation we're living in, the historical features of probably things ingrained in our DNA as well, maybe. But obviously, most of all, our geographical situation. And I think everybody around me, people of my country, people of my neighboring countries, like my neighboring regions, I guess, because we also have people in the north who would love summer, I guess. Would be like, oh my god, it's so cold all the time. We need some sunshine, you know. So people on this line of latitude and longitude, whatever. No, latitude. Oh no, longitude. Okay, I'm bad at it. Forget about it. Anyways, people who are in similar regions climate wise than mine, we all love rain. We all love the rain, and I know some other people also love the rain. I'm not saying this that people of a certain geographical region would love the rain, but I'm just saying that we love the rain because rain means cool weather and rain means no sun, and we would love no sun. As soon as the clouds come and that sun is hidden, we are happy. That describes our happiness. We want to get out of the bed. We want to, like, every time there's a slight hint that it might be cloudy and it might be about to rain outside, I literally get up. No matter what I'm doing, I get up and I have to go to the window to see. I like have to look at the sky and see for myself if it's actually the sun is gone and it's actually going to rain, you know. And we're like, oh my god, we start announcing, oh my god, it's about to rain, and everybody gets excited. But I can understand the weather is such a subjective thing, and huge amount of population loves it in the summer. Or I love summer too, but like loves it when the sun is out and like the sunlight. Well, they haven't experienced the sun in my country, you know. But it's so weird actually how our minds, we're same people, you know, we're humans, but our minds work so differently that someone could actually be getting their boost of serotonin from a cloudy weather, whilst other people are losing their happy hormones because of the cloudy weather, you know. Some people's good mood depends on sun being out, while other people's good mood depends on sun not being out. And I'm certainly one of those people who don't like the sun. I'm not a fan of sun. I love the sun as a blessing of Allah, but it's really harsh. So I would like it from behind a screen, you know, a screen of clouds. Anyways, so it's the monsoon. It's been raining. I remember the previous monsoons of my life being a lot better than this. They weren't this humid. There were a lot of rains. Now there are rains, but they're just warm rains. The other day, like a few days ago, or maybe previous week or something, I experienced a rain that I cannot even say that it was a rain. It feels like a fever dream kind of thing. Well, fever dreams are supposed to be good, I guess, or not. It was the warmest rain of my life. Like, I saw that it was raining, the drops of water falling straight down, like literally straight, with a ruler kind of straight down. And I was like, okay, wow, I want to be in that rain. That's super straight. I like it. And I went out, and the rain was so warm. It was so bad. I hated it. It was unreal how warm that rainwater was. And I was like, man, global warming. Seriously. Wow, it was weird. And I'm really every day worried about the climate of our world, the atmosphere that's been damaged, you know. Now there are a lot of thunder. Like, oh my god, I also heard the loudest thunder of my life. I thought somebody dropped a bomb over my house or near my house. It was that bad. It was the scariest, loudest thunder of my life. I think lightning must have stricken somewhere. I don't know. We didn't find out, and I hope it didn't, strike anywhere. But it was so loud. We literally fell off to the ground. Like, it was that loud, and it immediately made me think about the situation in Palestine and how they must be feeling every day, with those drones all the time buzzing over their heads, no security, always scared, not sure which strike is gonna hit them, and always under those loud thunders of bombs and missiles. I just really want you all to take this moment and pray for them all, because we cannot even imagine their situation, because it's not just the sound, it's actually their lives in danger, and above like all the other things, the loss of their loved ones, the starvation, no clean water, diseases, just so much. They're dealing with so much. When that one thunder made me fall to the ground, like, I just couldn't help but be grateful that we're not experiencing that, and we should all be praying for them and helping them in whatever ways we can, literally, even if helping them means that we have to give up on some of our snacks or some of our shampoo or these kind of things. I think we can help them. We really can. And I hope we all do recognize this and help them and pray for them all the time. So these days it's monsoon, and after monsoon it's gonna get hot again. I know that September is gonna be hot, and then in October we're gonna think that it should get nicer, but it wouldn't get as nice as we would expect it to be. And I would be saying, oh my god, at this time we should be in this kind of weather at least, but it's still this kind of weather. And yeah, because October in my opinion needs to be very autumnal, but it's actually November here that's more autumnal. And oh my god, let's discuss this. Okay, wait, or maybe okay, let's start. I don't know how I think I did learn about this, but I just never registered this information in my mind, and I'm blown away. I was blown away when I realized this. I watch many Australian YouTubers, and there's one that who vlogs, and I really like her content. She bases her content a lot on the weather as well. She talks about the weather a lot, and I never realized that people in Australia are exactly opposite climate-wise or weather-wise from the rest of the world. Like, did you know? I mean, I'm pretty sure. I now after that I remembered that I have studied that in social studies and geography, but still I'm just like shocked, and it's negligence on my part. People in Australia have their winter in May, June, July, August, September, like the summer months. They have the peak of their winter. That's winter in Australia. Right now, the rest of the world has summer, and it's winter in Australia because it's the other part of the hemisphere. And oh my god, because I realized this in spring, because she was saying that, because in that episode she basically explained that how she was like, I know that rest of the world has already gone through the autumnal vibes phase back in November and October and November, but we in Australia get our autumn in March and April. So it's autumn here. I hope you enjoy this autumn vlog. And I was like, what, girl, what are you talking about? And it was like all wilted leaves and orange, yellow colors everywhere, leaves falling, and just cloudy, gloomy weather, people wearing scarves and sweaters, stuff like that. Oh my god. And the autumn, which is our autumn, which are like October, November, that's their spring. That's their spring. Oh my god. And our winter, December, like November, December, January, February, that's their summer. Wow. I mean, I really need to know if you guys knew about this. I mean, like knew about this and remembered it, because I certainly didn't, and I feel so full. Like I feel like such a Dumbo after realizing this, but I don't want to deny that I am this dumbfounded by it. Wow. Whew. So if you didn't know, welcome to the new information that in Australia, our winter is their summer, and their winter, and our summer is their winter, and our autumn is their spring, and our spring is their autumn. I really want to go to Australia now. I wasn't much interested in Australia other than the fact that the Australian people seem really, 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 really nice people. Like, really nice people. Anywhere I've seen Australian people, they're so kind and so nice and so humble and so sweet. Exactly opposite of Americans. I'm sorry. But Australian people are just so nice. So that was the only thing I knew about Australia and cared about. But ever since I have learned this new information, I'm more interested in Australia, and I'm like, maybe I can want to go to Australia as well. Now I'm kind of silent. Why am I suddenly so silent? I think I just said a lot of things really quickly. Yeah. Now I feel this silent spell over me. Yeah, rains in summer are good, but the rains in winter and the rains in autumn, no match. The vibe they have is like none other. Oh, because in that time you are in the mood of gloominess. In summer you're not that much in the mood of gloominess, and I don't think in summer when we see the clouds, the dark clouds, the dark weather because of rain, or when it's about to rain, we don't think that it's gloomy at all. But in autumn we do think that that's gloomy, and I really like that vibe. Really, really like that vibe, because it's cold, and I like coolness. I like coolness. I don't like cold, but I like coolness. Yeah. I've always, I think, considered spring to be my least favorite season, even though I was born in spring. Well, I think that's one of the reasons why I actually don't like spring, because I don't like my birthday, so I don't like spring. But also, like, I thought that it was just the most surface kind of season. I don't know. But whenever I'm living in the spring, I remember back in spring, I really wanted to record an episode about spring, but I just couldn't get around to it because I was busy, as I guess I talked about in an episode that there was a lot going on. Yeah. But in spring there are a lot of festivals because it's the season of colors and flowers, and there are a lot of flower exhibitions and cultural festivals, youth festivals, concerts, college festivals, and all kinds of like festivals are there in spring. And when in spring I do see the flowers everywhere, you kind of forget that I have this image, like a very children book image of spring in my mind. When I say spring and summer and winter and autumn, I have this very children book image in my mind, probably instilled from my childhood books. So that image of spring that I always think about is just obviously so not fake, but like superficial in a way. Just like forced happiness, or maybe I'm just like a sad person and I don't like that many colors and happiness and everything like that. But when you actually see this flowers everywhere, especially after the spell of a strong winter, you kind of do feel good. You kind of do feel some kind of happiness blossom in your mind. I have experienced that or observed that this year and the year before that as well. Year before that or the year before that. I think I have noticed that since like 2022, because I was in my university and my university is very strong on its agricultural and horticultural and floricultural aspects. Like they're very strong on that, so they make sure the university is as green as possible, as tidy greenery wise. Like the plants are always in the best shape and the trees are in the best shape. I've seen other universities and they do not maintain their plants like my university used to. And as soon as there was spring, the horticulture and the floriculture departments were like, this is our time to shine. And our whole university was just filled with flowers, like so many flowers. And then there were also like these kind of competitions and festivals, you can say, of which dorm, which hostel is the best, is the best cleaned or the best, like, what is the word? I'm just suddenly so blank. Like, best decorated according to the spring. Students paint their dorms and decorate their dorms with different colors and plant so many flowers and clean everything. It feels like a Chinese New Year. It's so funny, I just remember Chinese New Year, studying about the Chinese New Year in my English book, and the spring cleaning a big thing in them, because they consider if they will not clean the house before the start of the New Year day, it will increase their chances of getting bad luck, and they have to wipe out the bad luck by cleaning everything. That's their beliefs of the Chinese New Year's, that they have to clean their houses to make the house ready to accept the new blessings and the good luck of the new coming year. And we literally used to do that spring cleaning thing. And there were just flowers everywhere, and I realized that, oh my god, I do like flowers. I'm a girl after all, and I like flowers. I just really, really like flowers. And this is one of the episodes that I wanted to record during the spring. It was about flowers and my life with flowers, my history with flowers. I wanted to talk about that because there's a lot to talk about on that topic as well, and I might someday talk about it. But yeah, I just realized that I really like flowers, and it's amazing to find different shapes and sizes and colors and types of plants and with different scents, and you can collect the flowers and you can make so many things with it. My camera roll is always filled with pictures whenever it's spring, because I see flowers and I take pictures. So I think I'm very fake when I say that I don't like spring, because I like flowers, so I should like spring as well. But I think I would still never say that spring is my favorite season. And then there's summer, which I've already talked a lot about. I think I've talked about all the seasons a lot, but here we are again. For quite some years, I have started to say that summer is my favorite weather, even though I tend to forget about the humidity, man. I tend to forget that, really. Because when I am in the humid days, I freaking hate summer so much. It's the worst season. But other than that, I really do like summer. I like how I feel in summer. I think the emotions, I know people say that winter blues really get to them and it's a depressing kind of season, but I think that in winter, whatever the emotions are, if people really like to mention the negative and the sad emotions, even those emotions in winter are really They're not flowing. They're just there. Kind of like frozen in time. And you feel frozen in time. And maybe that's why you feel sad, because you just feel frozen in time, you know? Time seems to slow down and nothing's really moving. If you're sad, it's not like an increasing amount of sadness. Oh my god. It's like this constant cloud of gloominess that you're surrounded by. But in summers, the emotions are always, I feel like, flowing. They're always in a dynamic state. They're always moving. They're always full of energy. They're always much more sincere as well, I think. Because, first of all, people do feel really happy in summer because of the sun, I guess. But like I said, I'm not that much of a happy person. Not a proud thing to accept, but, well, it is what it is. But even if it's happiness or sadness, I feel like the emotions are much more intense in summer, and they're always in a flowing state. Like the emotions are always flowing, not overflowing, or maybe for some people they are overflowing, but just like you don't feel stuck anywhere. You don't feel, even if you are stuck. For example, I'm still not right now actually, but in the start of the summer, I was still having a writer's block, a creative block, all kinds of block. I still have creative block, but it doesn't feel as frozen. It feels like you can do something about it. You can do things to help your blocks, to help whatever it is that's frozen about you. It feels like you can do things for that. You can work on that. But in winters, it just feel like you can't even work on that. You just sit. And exist in this weird state of time and space where you're just like nowhere. I don't know if I'm painting the right picture, if it's relatable to anybody or it's just me, but it's just how I perceive. And you can perceive different things based on your experience, definitely based on your history, your geography, your science, your maths, everything. You can have different perceptions and observations and likings, but this is me, I guess. I would really like to know what are your perceptions and what are your likings, what are your viewpoints on this whole topic and everything. But yeah, I just feel like in summers my emotions feel fresh, they don't feel stale. I feel like a human being. Weird, but yeah, true. I feel like the blood is running through my veins, and I feel like I can do things, and I do really tend to get more ideas and passion, if there's any, in summer, you know? And I don't feel stuck. And even if I feel stuck on something, I don't feel like it's the end of the world. Or, well, I have felt like it's the end of the world. But it's like, I don't know. It's just in comparison with winter, summer is like flowy, you know? That's a lot about summer. And your emotions in summer. And then comes this amazing weather that is autumn. This beauty of a weather. This perfect weather, which is not hot, not cold, not too happy, but not sad either. And it's so creative. Autumn is such a creative season. It's magical. It's truly like autumn is like a fantasy novel, and that's why so many fantasy novels are probably set in that kind of autumnal tone or like atmospheres and dark academia and everything like that, because autumn just feels like you stepped into this magical realm. Autumn is the name of creativity, I guess. It's the season for me, I guess. Really. Some people might not agree because I'm being very exaggerative, if that's even a word. But I don't know if you can relate to me. Like, it's that kind of, it's really magical season. And it's that season where you feel like a lot could be possible, and it's that season where you give zero F's about things. I feel like I'm the strongest in autumn. I feel that I can do things. I feel like I can say no to things. I feel like I can be a boss, you know? I can be independent. I feel powerful in autumn. I feel like a main character of a fantasy novel, to be honest. And I haven't read that many fantasy novels. But you get what I'm saying? Autumn is like that. Autumn is also very feminine. I think that dark feminine energy, autumn is full of that. Yeah. I'm loving talking about this. Really, really loving. And I love the orange and red and yellow hues and the less light, minus the smoke problem. Global warming and pollution and environmental problems. Here we go again. In the start of autumn, we get really bad smoke here, which sucks. It really sucks. It makes you feel like the weather is actually nice and dark and gloomy, but then you go outside and it's all smoky and your eyes hurt and you can't breathe and it's warmish and bad. And you're like, okay, thanks for ruining that. I'll just enjoy my autumn from inside looking out my window, you know. But if that's not the problem, autumn's really amazing. It's beautiful. It's magical. How many times have I said that? I think I have done the most amount of creative work in my life in autumn. The most. Whether it's like photography, cinematography, it's book reading, it's book writing, it's traveling, I guess. Or maybe I have traveled equally in all seasons, I guess. No, I haven't. I guess. Sorry. So I think I have done the most amount of creative work and like my hobbies in autumn. And I really like that. And autumns are always the start of your new semesters or new sessions and classes. And it's like not exactly the start because you start in September. September is the worst month. I hate September. It's one of the months I hate the most, other than March. I hate March and September, but autumn is like October and November. So it's actually like you have gone through that difficult part of having to start a new semester or new era, new session, anything. You have passed that, and now you're in like this set tone, and there are no finals, no study pressure, nothing like that. And it's just, and no pressure by the society to be happy like it is in summer and spring with all the festivals and vacations and everything like that. There's just no pressure, and you can do your own thing. I think autumn is the season of introverts, you know. Woof, I realize how in one breath I talk when I get like an idea about something, and I just really go on and on about explaining it, and I have really over explained like the word magical. How many times have I used that for autumn already? And damn, it must be hard listening to me because I was just in my zone speaking and speaking. I really had everything in my mind and I wanted to say it, and I just said it in one breath, I guess. And now coming to the last season of the year, which is also the first season of the year, the winter season, which I'm going to talk about as if I don't already have a whole episode dedicated to just the winter season. Let's maybe summarize that episode, I guess. Just like I said in the first episode, I feel like I reference the first episode so much in all of my episodes. Like, it's crazy. It's weird. Maybe I set a standard for myself which I was never able to achieve ever again in any of the episodes. It's something I aspire to be every day, maybe. That's why I like to talk about it so much. I don't know. But yeah, winter season is I like winter season. I don't like cold. And I know you would be like, how do those two work together? You know, winters are cold, but hey, I love the other aspects of winter. I just don't like feeling cold. If I'm wearing warm things and they're actually keeping me warm, I think I like winter as well. I used to love winter. It was my favorite season. Without a question, I would say I loved winter for the longest time of my life. I thought I would never change. I thought that winter was my season, winter was my calling. I was so passionate about winter. I had journals filled with my love for winter, how much I loved every aspect of winter, all the clothings, the environment, how it's so much time in the night you get in winter season. I think that's still one of my favorite things about winter, the winter's night sky, because you get so much dark time in winter, which is one of the things that people don't like about winter, but I absolutely love that. I mean, people are like, oh, again, the same kind of mentality that they love the sun, so they like the daytime, and they're like, in winter seasons you don't get that much of daylight. It's really limited, and even if when it is the daytime, it's not really bright, so they don't like it. But I'm just like all about the winter nights. There's nothing better than the winter nights. These summer skies have been such a bummer, and especially in monsoon season, there are clouds all the time, which are just so useless because it's humid. It's not like they're doing anything good, they're not contributing in a good way. And generally, when the skies are clear as well, there aren't that many stars. And in autumn, you get so much smoke that you can't see the sky. So I just really miss my winter skies, my winter night skies, my winter stars. I can still see the moon, and it's wonderful and amazing as always, but the stars, man, why do we miss the stars? I mean, I love the stars. I probably like the stars. Now this is where I always get stuck. Do I like the stars more? Do I like the moon more? And do I have to like one thing better than the other one? Anyways, but both matter to me so much. Like, what's a night sky with only the moon? What's a moon without stars, and what are stars without moon? So we have to have everything. And in winter, the skies are just like, I remember that day, the feeling, the time when the idea for this podcast came into my mind, that to make it the Rooftop podcast was exactly the moment when it was the 1st of December, and I walked up, not the 1st of December, I guess, but anyways, I walked up on the rooftop, and it was suddenly I was hit by this chill cold. And when I looked up, and the sky, after so many days of smog, was full of bright stars, like someone had sprinkled glitter all over this dark blue sky, and I was just so happy. It was like kira kira and fua fua, as the Japanese say, and my heart was just like doki doki so much. I loved it. I loved it so much. I can't forget that feeling. I can't forget it was exactly how one of the most wonderful days of my life was when I walked into the planetarium, and it will always be my favorite part of my life, that I get to see what a planetarium is like. We only had that one planetarium in our city, which is now gone for a long time, and I just miss it so much. So my love for winters is more like my love for night and the dark now, but I don't mind not feeling hot, but I do mind feeling really, really cold, especially when I'm in bed. Ugh. And when I'm at work, oh my god, you remember when I was at work and my legs get so cold. My legs feel the most cold. How much layering can one person do on their legs, And I already layer a lot of clothes in winter, but it's still not enough. When my feet are frozen, even when I'm wearing 2 pairs of socks and really, really thick shoes, and my feet are frozen inside. I hate that feeling so much. But still, I like winter a lot. I like the winter apparel, as I've already mentioned in the first episode. And I like the winter vibes. I like having hot coffee. Like, I love an iced latte, but a hot cup of coffee just, I don't know, it's different. It's a whole other mood. I know cold, I wouldn't say it hits different because a cold iced latte hits the right spots. I mean, especially now that I'm sitting in summers, I cannot say that an iced latte is not superior or like good. I wouldn't say it's superior, but it's equally good taste wise. But hot coffee is vibes. When I think about coffee, the general idea is a hot cup of coffee. A cup of coffee, not a glass of coffee, not a jar of coffee, not coffee with ice. It's a hot steaming cup of coffee with froth. It's a cappuccino, you know? And that you can only enjoy in winters and autumn, but like winters mostly. And I like soup, really, really like that. And I like strolling outside in winters in the dark because I like strolling outside in the dark, but in summers, that dark time is just like really late at night, you know? But in winters, the night comes so quick, so early. It's not that late at night, so you can go out and it would be night, but it won't be late and it won't be like unsafe, whatever. And all in all, I think to summarize it, I would just say that I really like and enjoy all seasons and all kinds of weathers. They all contribute differently to my mood, and maybe not all the things they're contributing are good, but there are good things to it, and they all have different good things about them. So I like the whole cycle of seasons during a year, and I'm also grateful that we get to experience all the seasons. I would have wished that our summer was slightly less harsh, but it is what it is, and I think I really enjoy all weathers, 5 weathers, because monsoon is a weather, winter, spring, summer, monsoon, autumn. Yeah, weathers are amazing. They are certainly the number one things that change or affect our moods, and our moods are really important because our feelings are important. And what am I even saying right now? I think I'm just really tired. I've spoken a lot with a lot of enthusiasm. I think I had enthusiasm for each of the seasons and each of the topics in this episode. Yeah, that's all. I think this episode is long enough, really long, and since the past few episodes have been shorter, I guess this one's gonna feel long, I guess. And please suggest me some good podcast if you have any in mind, because sometimes I'm working and I need something to be playing in my mind. I was saying in my ears, and I don't want it to be music all the time because, well, yeah, music is haram, and I would really, really like to cut it out of my life, which is very hard. So a good alternative is podcasts, and I really want podcasts like my own to listen to. So if you have any suggestions for similar kind of podcasts, then please recommend me those. Okay, this is all. Goodbye. Allah Hafiz. Have fun. Drink water.